I'm not bad. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm the MC today. 1 Million Cups was founded in 2012 with the purpose to engage, educate, and inspire entrepreneurs. Today, all of us, we help somebody. And it's important to know certain rules, or to say standards, that we follow in 1 Million Cups. Everything that we talk today has to be safe and supportive. We have so much diverse here, and inclusion. So everything that we talk about had to be very careful talk, please. Everyone has a voice, and you have the opportunity to give us advice, or give him our speaker advice. Remember, no one is going to be dominated today, so I love to talk a lot, so but everybody has their own time. Please, be respectful and considerate. There are so many people today, so many new people, so I will begin if you please can introduce yourself and give us the name of your company.
So Matt Banks, Virtual Medical Group, you'll hear my big mouth running in a little bit.
Dr. Connie Hambrock, Holistic Healing Center.
Hello, Randy Mullican, CareerConfidence.org.
Your name and your company.
Lisa Shapiro, DC Fempreneur.
Megan Yu. Hi, I'm John Yu with Hobby Solutions. David McGill representing myself.
Valerie Jackson, Fierce Focus Strategies.
Michael O'Hanlon, RM O'Hanlon Consulting Accounting.
Here.
Oh, Marisol Valdez with Virginia Hispanic Commerce.
Welcome.
Sandra Felipe, Virginia Hispanic Chamber.
Jen Dalton, Brand Mirror.
Madonna Krosick, Red Wagon Village.
Scott Krosick, Red Wagon Village.
Welcome.
Spiros Mabronis, Fire Kind.
Russ McIntosh, Vision Idea Design.
Ezekiel Baden Gulick, Business Planet and Video Services.
Tony Barnett, Engle Group.
Ken Portnoy, Toastmasters and Tysons.
Here, please, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nabila Sela, my company is RZ, it's an education services.
David Hellison, Life and Health Insurance Broker.
Dr. Bob Johnson, Health Awareness Ventures.
Good morning. Joseph Sims, The Absolute Critical Moment. It's a small nonprofit to address conflict and violence.
Wow, that sounds.
Hard act to follow. John Rutenberg, Contact Management Specialist.
Barry Fake, Executive Advisors, Conflict Management Sciences.
Oh, your speed.
Dr. Deb Cohen, Deb Cohen LLC, Management Consultant.
Good morning, I'm Megan Keith from Fairfax County Business Experience Office.
Ben Gator, Fairfax County Economic Development Authority.
Alan Anderson, I help small businesses with their sales.
Tom Scheich, Realtor, Long and Foster, Realtor for all ages.
Rose Marcelino with Gravitate, a business-to-business communication platform, and thanks everybody for standing, because usually I'm just a voice in the back of the room audience.
Great idea.
Erica Schmuck, Fairfax County Economic Development Authority.
Tony, did you say? Okay. So if everybody put out your iPhone or any phone that you have it, and please download the app. 1 Million Cups, and please check in. So this is the agenda. So before we continue, it will be not happen if we don't have a volunteers to support us. So I will invite all the volunteers, organizers to the front. Let's go here. So we have the
Up against the wall. Tony Barnett with Engle Group. We're and I'm an organizer here that loves the interaction.
Laura Drain, Radoworks Marketing. I love to be with you all.
Jen Dalton, Brand Mirror.
Russ McIntosh, Vision Idea Design. I love the group support that we have here at 1 Million Cups.
John Yu with Office Evolution.
John Rutenberg, cccsolutions.com. What I love is the fact that you can really get to know someone through the course of a couple of meetings by exchanging ideas. And you get way beyond, what do you do, what do you do? We're talking about a lot of other things where trust is built. And that's what this group is all about.
Let's give a round of applause to them. So our coffee sponsor would like to come to say a couple words.
Coffee sponsor, and I noticed that the decaf and the caffeinated weren't marked, so I hope everybody got the right one.
You can go to
The placebo effect. So my name's Randy. I'm a volunteer with careerconfidence.org. We're a nonprofit that helps job seekers with job-seeking skills, such as resume writing, interview skills, negotiating a job. And we operate out of 3 locations: Rockville, here in Tysons, and a new location in Loudon, up in Ashburn. The seminars are taught by actual recruiters, coaches who have years and years of experience, and it's all free. That's the best part. So if you know anybody looking for a job or is in a job looking for a new job, we're the place to come to. We've been in existence since 1998. So anyway, I hope you come by, and we have some pamphlets in the back over here, and that's about it. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now, please welcome our speaker today. I will remind it, and you have a piece of cards. Please write your notes, and remember to check in the app for 1 million cups.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Matt Banks, Virtual Medical Group. A couple of things about me that I'd like to share. I'm an attorney by trade. My dad was a Marine, and so he, recommended that I join. And he said, I want you to be a Marine, but I don't want you to be enlisted because the lifestyle isn't that great. Maybe you should be an officer and get an education. So I took that and I did the opposite. And actually, it's funny. I didn't intend to join the Marine Corps at all. I was going to college. I already was accepted. I was the summertime before I got my little summertime job, and I was working at a minor league baseball field. And Marine recruiters show up, and they have like this stand that's got a bar at the top. So later I recognize that that's a pull-up bar. So they bring this pull-up bar out, and actually I just gotten off my shift, and I'm walking in to watch the game. I see them over there, and they're challenging people in the crowd to do pull-ups. So they're like, hey, if you do 15 pull-ups, you'll get a water bottle. If you do 20, you'll get a shirt. So of course my ego kicks in immediately, which is exactly what they wanted. I walked over there and I can do it. So I walk over there, I do my, whatever the number was. They gave me a water bottle. I think, just to make me feel good. I think it was just to, I don't know, they felt bad. So they gave me my water bottle. Actually, they gave me a shirt as well. And they said, hey, you thought about the Marine Corps? I said, no, I'm going to college. And they said, well, do you know about the reserves? And I said, well, no, I didn't know the Marine Corps had reserves because the Army Reserve commercials are so abundant. For some reason, the Marine Corps maybe not be spending a whole lot of money on their reserve commercials. In any event, before you know it, I'm down at the recruiter station. I coerced 2 of my best friends to go with me, and then we went to boot camp together. So kind of an interesting story. My dad found out that I enlisted. Of course, he was upset. And then he asked me what my job was, and I said, well, field radio operator. And he goes, idiot, don't you know what that means? No, I picked the job. It's just the reserves. He's like, yeah, they're shooting at us over here. Yeah, that's what field radio operator is. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should wait and talk to you before I did that. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, Marine enlisted. I later became an officer, and then I was a JAG in the Marine Corps, and then I actually just got out in August. I was working at a small law firm, doing government contracts work, commercial litigation, employment law, stuff like that. And recently decided to make the leap and start my business. I'm starting this business. I'm also a solo practitioner, so I'm not just throwing my JD away. I paid a lot of money for that, so I'm going to hang on to that. But Virtual Medical Group is my company. I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm just in a family of many of them. Certain things about your family you can't really, you can't avoid certain things. Mom's a doctor, dad's dad's a lawyer. Sister's a doctor, brother-in-law. My brother runs a home health agency in Chicago, and he's done really, really well. So of course, naturally, I look at that and I see that as a model, and I, wanting to copy. And he's my older brother, so I'm like, yeah, let's just try for this medical thing. I'm not doing exactly what he's doing, but it's something similar. So veterans, are there any veterans in the house tonight? Okay, or today? Awesome. So hopefully some of you, if you're a veteran, you'll look at this video and kind of laugh. The rest of you, it may be a little bit shocking. I think it's going to be kind of funny, but maybe it's the dark humor. So if foul language offends anyone, please feel free to step out of the room.
We're adults.
Yeah, I figured we could probably handle it, but this sort of paints the picture a little bit. So sound. I'm hoping I can get some sound.
I don't know if we're gonna have sound.
No?
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, I'm gonna crank mine up. Let's see if we can get this going. Oh, you can't hear it. Oh.
Use some imagination.
Anybody?
Anytime you can't hear a drum instrument, that's okay.
Yeah, I guess that's yeah.
I thought you were going to do the voiceover. No?
I wasn't gonna do the voiceover. Hey, so why are you so dehydrated? Well, I don't know, because I didn't drink water like you told me to. I think that's really horrible, but let's send you to the side and get you all the water that you want to drink. Yeah, because we really care about you.
Maybe subtitles?
Yeah, subtitles. Are there subtitles?
Maybe. There is a CC button.
Yeah.
It says CC.
At the bottom of the page.
At the bottom of the page.
Right
there it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's see if they are active.
I don't think they.
No?
No, it's not gonna work.
All right.
Okay.
The gist of it is, you can see the aggression on the drill instructor's face. I think you get the point. There's a recruit who appears to have feigned illness. He, didn't drink enough water, as he said, and he, kind of couldn't complete the training event. So they, of course, take it out on him. They yell at him. He goes to see a corpsman. They're like, hey, what's wrong with this recruit? Why is he not doing the training? And that drill instructor's like, yeah, well, he's telling him that he couldn't do the training, but afterward, he drank a little bit of water and he felt fine again. And so they think he just feigned illness. They think that he just wanted to avoid the...
Oh, there you go. Now it's on there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sporadic subtitles.
Yeah, sporadic subtitles.
Yeah, I
Those
think
are
that
the
was like
best.
the first words that were said. In any event, the...
Closed captioning doesn't capture anger.
Right, yeah. Yeah. But I think you can see it.
Yes.
In any event, the point of this is, they think that he's faking an illness. So I think the whole point of, something that I'm going to tell you a whole lot about is that, sometimes you don't know if someone is sick or not sick, and you don't do anything because you think that they are faking. I think if you have kids...
What?
Yeah, Bruce. One of my favorites.
We know
by the
that,
way.
right?
One of my favorites, by the way. He's my hero. So, yeah, virtual medical group. All right, so who are we? Basically just a network of health professionals. I work with nurses, I work with doctors, I work with chiropractors. There are a network of medical professionals because I'm in a family of people who know people. So for me, from a business perspective, it makes a whole lot of sense. I have a network. So we're a veteran-focused business. Virtual Medical Group does medical claims. That's what we do. We do third-party medical billing, coding, transcription, but we also do a specialized type of claim, VA disability claims. Me, I can't help it. I'm a veteran. That's who I like to work with. That's what I understand. And so, doing some type of government process for me is really easy. I'm also a service-disabled veteran-owned small business, certified by the VA. Kind of an onerous process, but it's good once you get it. And actually, that's what this symbol here is on the bottom. I guess you don't have a laser pointer on it. Yes, you do. So this little symbol, you get to rock that once you've gone through their little vetting process. This is a Virginia set aside that I, certification I was able to get. So for me, I'm taking a very strategic approach, looking for contracts. So the service disabled piece, I'm not your paradigm service disabled veteran. I didn't roll in here in a wheelchair. I don't have a flag. It's not one of those things where, not to even make light of it. I'm not one of those guys. But you only need 0% to be a service disabled veteran. What I will say is that I'm an advocate. So I think that's kind of where I come in. So what do we do? I mentioned medical claims and nexus opinions. So what is a nexus opinion? Anybody have any idea what that is? I got the little chain here. Well, I'll spoil it for you. The nexus opinion is, for VA disability, you need 3 things. You need an in-service event, something that happened to you during your military service. You need a current medical condition, something that's still affecting you today. And then you need some medical connection between the 2 of them. That's it. Most claims fail because they can't establish a nexus. And it's often because they can't identify something that happened to them during the military. Usually you're just kind of going through, you don't really recognize what happens to you, you're just doing what they tell you to do, and then sometime later you have some issue, right? You hear about all these latent diseases that people suffer from because they were on ships someplace, or they were here, they were there, and they now suffer from mesothelioma, or they suffer from, whatever it is, because of their exposure to whatever. So sometimes you're just not paying attention, you're exposed to things, you can't identify what you were doing or what happened. So that's where we kind of come in. I'm a translator. I basically say, hey, well, where did you serve? For example, I had a client. Where did you serve? Well, I was a paratrooper. And then did you get any certifications or anything like that? Well, yeah, I actually, I jumped out of a plane 40 times. Well, I had to be a master, whatever, master, jump master, whatever they called it. I Googled it and I said, oh, wow, jump master. That means just for the training, he jumped out of planes 40 times just to get the certification. Who knows what he did after that? So the interesting about that was I could now tell the medical professional, hey, so I got an explanation for the knees. He's jumped out of planes 40 times. So, it's just kind of that transition that I think veterans oftentimes have trouble articulating. Hey, I served in this unit. I'm a medical professional. What does that mean to me? I can't help find out what your problem is if you can't articulate what the problem is. Sometimes you need an advocate or someone to connect the dots for you. So that's sort of what we do. And I translate, tell the medical professionals, and they write an opinion. So this nexus opinion is a letter. It's a document. It's a second opinion when the VA has denied your disability claim. So sort of my business model, mostly focused on government contracts, the third-party medical billing and coding, transcription, several proposals in now with the federal government. My focus is that. I think that's a great source of, government checks don't bounce. I think that, that's a secure source. Having come from the government, being used to security, I'm still hanging on to it, I guess you could say. But I think it's a really good approach and way to keep your business going if you can get on a contract. And if you're going for VA contracts, if you're service disabled, you get front of the line preference. So I think that's kind of a pretty good idea. Private pay is the other model for the nexus opinions. Unfortunately, this is a for-profit business. There are veteran services organizations that will help you with your claim if you're a veteran. They'll help you with your VA disability appeal. But in my mind, you kind of get what you pay for. And oftentimes there's kind of a delay. You're already going to wait forever if you are a veteran and you've got your appeal sitting with the VA, and they want to do a good job. They want to help the veteran, but they just don't have the time and the resources to put all the effort into it, one. And two, they move very slowly. If anybody's familiar with the federal government, it's just a very slow, painful process. Why are they going through all this? So in my mind, I think, hey, let's expedite the process. Strategic focus, ultimately, what do I want to do? The VA disability thing, I'm going to keep that going, keep pressing with that. But the other piece is telemedicine, telehealth. I'm now kind of explaining to you what the meaning of my the business title is, virtual medical group, right? So most of the medical professionals I work with are someplace else. They're not in my office. I don't have an office. In my mind, I don't really need one, not for what I'm doing. So I think, hey, Well, let's take that the next step and let's go, hey, let's make telemedicine our thing. So ultimately, I want to take my business to that level. My long-term goals, in a year from now, I'd like to be on a government contract. That's where I'm focused. All right, I spend my time, on Fed biz ops, looking for contract opportunities. 3 years from now, I'd like to have some actual employees. My business model, 1099s, right? They're all in various places. You have to be familiar with all the employment laws, just to make sure that though you're calling them an independent contractor, they're actually an employee. You have to be careful. But I would like to have some actual employees, an actual office, a national presence. I want to be outside of Virginia, and veteran employment strategy. I would like to employ veterans. So, as I mentioned, I'm an advocate, help veterans with their claims, but also employ them in any capacity I can help veterans. I'll do that. Year 5, international presence. Everybody thinks that their business is going to be the one that's going to be the next brand name. Of course, I hope that mine will as well. Challenge question. I'm hoping you all can help me with this. Do you know a program manager working for the VA who's involved in medical services? So that just means when there's a government contract, there's a contracting officer on the government side, but there's someone else telling him what the government needs. Hey, I'm the guy that needs the thing. So I'm going to tell, hey, contracting officer, put out a solicitation for this. Solicitation is just the government's needs. So if anyone knows someone, it would be great if you could introduce me to them. Also, can you recommend an organization or event where I can find healthcare professionals interested in the service? I'm always looking to expand my network and meet more medical professionals because, a veteran will come to me with any condition, and I need to have enough practitioners who do that thing so that I can, connect them with the right one. So that's pretty much it.
Great. Well, thank you, Matt.
Yes,
thank you. Great presentation. So we're now moving into a segment of our meeting where it's going to be more interactive and actually a fun part of the meeting. So before we get started, Matt, you want to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And go back one slide to keep your challenge questions.
Yes.
Challenge question up.
There.
Okay, thank you. So that's his challenge question. Before we get started, there's a postcard in front of you. So we're going to try to get to all the questions and advices and feedback as possible. So if you can jot them down if we didn't get to you, but also you can also provide your feedback online or through your web, the app. So I'm going to be moderating the session. So if you raise your hand by just signaling to me, and then I will point at you, and then we'll get to the Q&A.
I'm going to take some notes.
We're actually going to be jotting
Writing it
down.
down?
Yeah, write it down. We'll collect it, and then we'll provide it at the end of the meeting. So first question, yes.
Okay, so Matt, who is your primary customer? Is it the veteran who's not getting their bill paid by the normal means, or is it the medical service provider who needs someone to do the billing for them?
So I clearly didn't explain it. Do you want me to?
Yes. Just a short answer to help clarify.
Yes, definitely. So twofold, both. Veterans are my clients for the Nexus opinions. I target a different person to help bring the veteran to me, but the veteran is who the client actually is. For the third-party medical billing, it's a healthcare professional, like a doctor's office, a hospital, some other network where they want to outsource the billing services, and they don't want to do it organically. They don't want to pay the overhead. They don't want to have somebody sitting there, sucking up coffee for 40 hours, a week, and they think they can cut costs potentially. So many healthcare professionals do it.
David Hillison. I've actually been to some aging meetings where you have healthcare professionals that come together where this is an issue that people are concerned about and talking about. So I know one of them is, there's one in Western Fairfax, there's Elson in Loudoun, there's one in Arlington. I think I made a couple of notes on these locations. These are places you should go, and ultimately you're going to want to speak at those places because everyone wants to hear what you have to say.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So another reminder is, as you jot it down, please put your contact information in case Matt needs to get back to you. So yes.
I know someone who is a veteran who is an insurance agent to her primary people that she serves are disabled veterans. Would that be a good connection?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much.
If you can also jot that down as well.
I got it.
Perfect. All right, Ken?
I have a very close association with a disabled veteran. He's my son. He's currently going through the process of appeal with VA. He is working with a lawyer who's operating on a contingency fee. How does your offering compare and contrast with that established business model for serving that same client base?
So the lawyer sometimes will, and I had to do this, which is why I came up with the idea for the Nexus Opinions. I was actually looking for someone to help me with my appeal. And not many medical professionals would put their neck out there and do the causation piece. I mean, they'll treat what you got, but they won't, help you determine how it got there. So that's kind of the issue or the disconnect. The lawyer won't do that either. The lawyer will go through the process of contingency fee is how they do it. They have to, because the VA has mandated it that way. In fact, they have to be a VA accredited attorney to even represent someone, and they can only do it after it's on appeal. But my portion, portion of that is I connect the medical professional. So I bring it to the attorney, I bring it to the veteran. I somehow provide the medical evidence that the veteran needs to submit along with his appeal.
So is that attorney a client for you?
So that is like a source, and kind of giving away my strategic approach. But that's exactly who I target. Attorneys who represent, without giving all the proprietary information away, it's exactly who I target. Attorneys who represent VA accredited attorneys who represent veterans. And I go to them because, again, I was the attorney in need of a medical professional who would help the client. So they are the best source. Plus, they can help explain better what I do, than I am if I'm knocking on his door and he's like, I don't even know who you are and I don't know what an Nexus opinion is. So the attorney is the best source for me.
Good question. Any other answer?
Have you tried meetup groups? Looked into meetup groups? Like, I just did a little search and found like 20 in the area.
Oh, really?
Healthcare, yeah, health professionals, and yeah, that's good.
That's a really good idea.
Just speak at those or hang out.
Just go show up to those. Yeah, I think you're right. Thank you. Yeah.
What type of government contracts are you looking for?
So ultimately, my understanding of third-party billing is better to be on a GSA schedule. So that's my strategic approach. But after 2 years is really what they're looking at to get on a schedule. So primarily, I'm looking to partner with someone who has a larger, greater capability. There's a mentor protege program, where if you're a startup like I am, and you are working with someone who's been in business for a while, the VA allow you to joint venture with them. Then that joint venture is a different name, which can get the certification that I have, the Service Disabled Veteran Owned.
Are you working with the SBA and working on your 8A and all that sort of thing?
So my 8A, it's another, you need 2 years to get, or have billed clients. So I'm actually still working on that because they won't certify you otherwise. Service Disabled Veterans in 8A, you have to go through a certification process. Service Disabled Veterans for other agencies other than the VA, they do not. And then other set-asides, all they need to say is, yes, I'm woman-owned, yes, I'm veteran-owned, whatever it is.
Okay, Tony?
So how many veterans support groups are you currently partnered with? Because in DC, we've got hundreds of them. I can name 3 or 4 off the top of my head.
It's been a challenge because the veterans groups do what I do. So I'm kind of in competition with them. They do it for free. So if I go to the VFW, if I go to the American Legion, if I go to name insert VSO, they're gonna say, well, I do what you do. I help them the way you do. But in my mind, I say, you take too long. The veteran wants some resolution like right now, and I can do that.
Well, what about some of the organizations that are doing separate help but may need what you're doing as a layer on? 2 in particular that I can name, VA Vets, which is headquartered in Herndon.
Okay.
There's also Warrior Ethos. And Warrior Ethos helps veterans who have been disabled get jobs, but they're not helping them on the medical side, they're helping them on the job training and job placement side. So there are a lot of those groups that are out there. I think what you do is spend some time, hunting those down.
Yeah.
You might be, and there's also a couple of women vets groups who may not necessarily, they're helping, women veterans, with housing, family needs, and things like that.
Yeah.
And handling medical issues and medical billing issues may not be something that I believe that's in their wheelhouse for those.
Yeah.
So those groups are maybe the ones you target. You may have to take the time to go through.
Yeah.
May take some time calling, getting to know them, but when you find someone who has the need, that might be where you fit in. And a lot of times those groups know people at the VA. So you might be able to solve both of those questions with one step.
That's exactly what I was looking for. The targeted, what do I do? Who do I go to? That helps a lot. Thank you so much for that.
John?
Okay, John Rittenberg. In looking at your questions, I think about profitability across the different set of services you've described, which, if I'm correct, is the pursuit of a federal contract, third-party claims administration or processing, and representing veterans who have a nexus opinion issue.
Yes.
So as an attorney doing nexus opinion, kind of attorney work, that's time, talent, and billing.
Yep.
Third-party administration provides leverage where you are the CEO of an organization doing billing administration.
Yeah.
Has a completely different profit model. And a government contract, you'd have to clarify for us what service you're providing to an agency for which you're being paid, which is a third. And so you need to spend some time on that, because you as an individual attorney, or even with a group of attorneys, you're in a practice.
Yeah.
You get that. Third-party administration, man, you got a shop foreman, she or he is running units who are ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. That's different.
Yeah.
You might be playing golf with your next client while that's happening.
That's right. My mindset is totally different.
My thought is really focus on what your target is.
Okay.
Or there may be more than one, because I've heard 3 or 4. And look at the profitability models of each.
Okay.
And it's exciting, by the way. Very exciting.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you very much. You're exactly right. That's something I definitely need to focus on.
And it's in your 2 questions.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm not getting, Alan Anderson, excuse me, I'm not getting how you're going to be a government contractor for what you do, because you're representing service people who have a problem and they're fighting the government. Is the government going to pay you?
It's 2 different businesses.
Yeah.
To service them?
So yeah, it does seem like a bit of a conflict. How can I be, fighting against them? But I'm really not. I mean, I'm, providing a medical opinion, a second medical opinion. It's not against them. Me submitting an appeal. An attorney would be fighting against him. I think at that point, then you are at the Board of Veterans Appeals, the court, and you're fighting against the government. I don't see myself as, of course, how they see me is the most important thing, but I feel like we're all in the same, going in the same direction. Helping the veteran.
How are you going to assist them? I'm not the government's got to pay you for something, and what are they paying you?
So to outsource billing, to save money. What they're doing is, and there are a lot of contracts for this. So, if you go on, Fed Biz Ops, you're looking for contracts that, hey, I want to outsource this. I want teleradiology. That's another one. Looking to maybe partner with a radiologist, practice or something like that. I want teleradiology so that, one, there's somebody 24/7 who's reading x-rays, wherever they are. Those are the people that I'm looking to partner with. I think the joint venture approach for a government contract is my best option. And then I do the billing for the service that they provide.
Jen?
So 2 thoughts / questions. These are 2 different businesses,
Yes.
right? One is the medical billing, and a recommendation or a question is, how do you envision how much of your time is spent on each, because it seems like the majority of your profitability is going to come from the government contracting, and that the Nexus Opinions is going to be some portion, but probably less than 20%, in which case I would actually recommend maybe having a virtual medical group, a nonprofit arm, and you do that through the nonprofit, and you might do it for free or a discounted price or whatever, because that's really a marketing play and it's a passion play. That's not your core business. So just a thought. Can you speak to the profitability piece? Because I think what's confusing folks is medical billing is your core business.
Right.
You like doing the Nexus Opinions. It could make you money, but it's not going to be the money driver.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Absolutely fair. Which is why I've been targeting different contracts so hard. I mean, that in my mind is the way I'm going to make money. But I think that I need, one, I'm starting small. So my approach is, hey, start with just third-party billing. Just start there, master that, get good at that, and then latch on to some other healthcare professional who's larger, can mentor me, and then I can plus up, as I grow. So I think in my mind, I view it as joint venture, get the mentorship, get on a contract, get some past performance with the government, and then they go, okay, well, this guy maybe can hang, they can get me onto a GSA schedule. I think that helps there. That's actually where all the third-party billers go. They get on GSA schedules. And so the government, their IDIQ contract, they're just giving them task orders. Hey, we want to save money, outsource our billing.
Matt,
Yes,
is
Matt.
that correct?
Yes.
Joseph Simmons. And first of all, thank you for your service.
Oh, pleasure.
And just
Pleasure
a couple
to
of
serve.
quick questions, because I don't know your business. How long were you in the Marine Corps?
18 years total, 9 years on active duty.
Well, yeah, the transition from that life into a life of entrepreneurship, although it seems like that you have all the skill sets naturally, it's a different life. So kudos for you for trying to make that transition. And it's not easy. I mean, life in the Marine Corps is life in the Marine Corps, right? And that's very different. The second thing, just so I understand, and forgive me for asking this question, is the company generated any revenue at this point?
No. It has actually one client. I finally got my first QuickBooks transfer.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Did you know that Bill Gates tried to give away like his first big business?
Did he?
Yeah. So my only point is to say that everyone who has a business is at that point at some time, and so I just wanted to ask. So, is it John? Is that? I second what he said. Yeah. And I just want to point back to that for you to say that oftentimes when people are starting a business, and I can't imagine that most people in this room haven't been there. What you're doing is you're struggling. Yeah. And you're looking for different avenues to be able to generate revenue from. Yeah. Right? You say, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. And it's a natural process, but sometimes in that process, time kills you. Does what I'm saying make sense? Yeah. Because you don't have the time, resources, of energy to go in 18 different directions. No. You almost have to say, this is what I can do. This is what I'm freaking great at. And I'm gonna carve my way into that. Yeah. And then once you start generating revenue from that, and you want to enter into these other business sectors, because once again, I don't know anything about your business, but I'm sitting here listening to this and I say that sounds completely different. Yeah. So once again, I would, and there's, may I say one other thing?
Oh, of course, of course.
I share this with you because it is something that I went through when I started into entrepreneurship. Humility is something that Marines are taught. Right? When you stand up there and you get that thing, you say, well, really you're thinking in your mind, I didn't do anything more than this guy did or that guy did. Like, why are they giving this thing to me? And it's a little humble. Would you agree?
Without a doubt. Okay. Without a doubt, that is so true.
Yeah, and you said something. You said something. You said, unfortunately, something about profit, and you said, unfortunately. Yeah. Now, I'm going to identify this as a core thing that I heard that I see as something you need to address. Because I had the same problem. I felt guilty about making money. Yeah. Did you hear what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know if that's true for you or not. I heard you say it.
It's true.
And if you're going to make money and you feel guilty about making money, that's a problem.
I think you're so right.
And you should not. You have a valuable set of skills and services that is going to provide that young devil dog or whoever it is with a value that they're going to be able to take in for the rest of their life. If you can do that for them, what is the harm in making money for yourself so you can support your family and continue to be able to provide that service? You should not feel the least bit, you should be humble about your capability. Sure. But you should be proud of what you do, and you absolutely should be paid money to do that.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for your service.
Thank
Semper
you.
Fidelis.
Semper Fidelis. Thank you for yours.
Okay, so we'll do Tony, and then we'll come up here, and then we're gonna try to wrap it up.
Okay. Most people here don't know I spent 18 years doing medical billing services for hospitals and physicians in this area. You're approaching it from the wrong direction. What your service can help, and you said it in the beginning of your presentation, are physicians who service and aid veterans and treat veterans. So, what you need to do is approach the organizations that physicians are members of, the American Association of Physicians, other groups around you. DC is filled with them. What you do then is you market to their former veteran or their veteran physicians who now have a sensitive spot to help a fellow vet, okay? Because they're likely to also have veteran patients, okay? This is around the country. If you target from that end instead of trying to go after government contracts, yes, I know you like the idea of government contracts, but here's one thing that everybody who's in government contracting knows. You don't want to be in government contracting. Okay? All right? Because it's a pain in the rear end. Really? Okay? You will have a higher likelihood of being able to help veterans make money and not have to worry about the non-for-profits and everything else if you go to the physicians who need assistance with the billing to the VA and to the government. Okay? Because that's their pain point. And one of the things from years ago when I did billing, whenever it came down to a veteran and you had to submit the bill to the VA or to other organization, it was hopeless. But yes, there are assistance programs, but on a $45,000 bill, there's only about $5,000 that's allocated to be able to help. And the physicians otherwise have to write that off. So if you sit there and go that direction, there's where your market is.
Thank you,
Okay.
What do you think of that?
Matt, great. I'd just say kudos to you and echoing others, and good luck. And it's the question I have, a lot of these thoughts have gone through my mind as well. The question I have is actually triggered by something you said almost in passing to an audience that probably didn't know what you were talking about except for a couple of us. When you referenced 0%. And maybe some people know what you meant by that, but a great number of us probably are like, what the heck was that about? It actually got me thinking. Most people in here, I think, are probably imagining the young person struggling to get what he or she's deserving on exit. Do you know what the numbers are for these kinds of claims just generally for those who are in that position, who are trying and trying to sort of get a second opinion or working for something more appealing on the way out PCSing or retiring, versus the person who came out at 0 but then advances at some point to 10 or 20 or 30 for a lifetime, so they're already out. Do you know where the bulk of the claims are or what the percentage split is?
That's a great question. I do not. The presumption is that it's the service-connected issue, not the I got 0% and I'm looking to increase. It's more so the person who's just like, I made a claim, it was denied, and then I went away.
Right, except that you can be 0 and become something can emerge, as you know, because those diseases or whatever they are, they appear.
Right.
And you can go back to the VA and get
it
raised, right? And you can get compensation. So I'm just wondering, in the massive field of people who've had some rating, and that rating has increased because of degenerative, whatever, what's that population look like? And maybe
that's a target.
There's something to target in there. I don't know, but it's just the thought that came to my mind.
Because they're the ones who aren't looking for me, right?
That's right.
They just have accepted.
They don't know. Exactly.
They don't have responsibility. Yeah, that's a good point.
All right.
It's tax-free money.
Yeah, thank you. I think that pretty much wraps up for today's meeting. So, apologize if we didn't get to all of you. So, you can we didn't get to you, take out the
Index
index card in front of you. Please jot them down. It could be a humbling experience to come out and put himself out there in a large crowd like this. And so, Matt,
Yes.
we want to present you with our coveted 1 million cups of mud.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you so much.
All right. Agenda. You want to?
So we actually have presentations booked through early October, which is exciting. These are some of our presenters that are coming up in the next few weeks. Very excited to have Megan here to speak for Fairfax County, and Fire Refined, who's also here today. Very excited to have you in a few weeks. If you know people who are interested in presenting and looking for feedback, it's free to present. We help you prepare and make sure that you're asking the right questions to get lots of great feedback. People can apply 1millioncups.com/Fairfax. If you're interested in applying, again, October is sort of the month we're looking at now, and so we're more than happy to help you get ready for that. And if you know someone who should present, we have had startups all the way to people who've been in business for 10 years and who want feedback. Maybe they're pivoting or they're trying something different, or they want to add a new audience or a new segment. So please make sure you send your index cards to the middle. If you did not get a chance to check in on the app, please make sure you do that. We have 32 people here today, which is awesome. We get allocated funds from 1 Million Cups Corporate from the Kauffman Foundation based on our engagement and participation, so that we can get things like our pop-up banners and our tablecloths and marketing, so we can help even more small business owners, since this is all volunteer-based. We do have an event September 12th from 6 to 9 at Chima Steakhouse. We are doing that with the Leesburg 1 Million Cups, Loudon 1 Million Cups, Prince William, DC. If you're interested in attending, it's free. It is up on Eventbrite. We've also put it on our Facebook page. We would love to have you there just to continue to connect, but outside of this forum, over appetizers and hors d'oeuvres and drinks.
What time is it?
6 to 9 in the evening. So not a morning event. It can be a nice evening happy hour celebration.
And
We
there
will
are
have
sponsorship
past
opportunities
presenters.
available.
There are sponsorship opportunities available. So let us know if you're interested. Thanks everybody for being here.
We also have one other special announcement.
Yes, please.
Every now and then, one of the people who's partners with us gives us some kind of a special gift. And this time around, James Lawson, which is with Impact Business Coaches, who was here last week. He is this Friday morning doing an all-morning session from 9